When will you stand up to them and say that is enough?
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already.
Fraud, of course, is a crime. So have you turned over evidence of fraud to the Justice Department, and when should we expect to see those indictments?
It's a clever question. There has been extensive fraud, particularly if you look at Social Security. In fact, according to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year.
I am always impressed with how poorly a job Carolyn Leavitt can continue to do. But I guess I should give her a little bit of credit, even though I don't want to. Most presidential press secretaries, they don't have two presidents to deal with, and that is her dilemma. Not only defending the indefensible actions and statements of Donald Trump, but of Elon Musk as well, who is running around high on ketamine, screaming about chainsaws. See? Yeah. Her job is probably a little tougher than usual, but she's doing a really bad job of it, and she's certainly letting it get to her, which is exactly what we saw when she was caught in a lie about Doge, just threw an absolute temper tantrum and started yelling at the media, which I guess is her go-to move. Not very smart when you work with the media every single day, but we're going to get into all that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, of course, before we get into this press conference from Lit, I want to hear about the exact programs that are being cut that she's trying to defend in a clip right here from Rachel Maddow.
He is unpopular. He is historically unpopular. He is the least popular president in the history of modern polling at this point in his presidency. The country does not like him. They do not like what he is doing. They do not like the people that he is putting in place. The more he talks about specific things he wants you to associate with him, the more the American public hates those things specifically. The more the country shows that, the better chance that Democrats will get stronger and faster and more bold in their opposition, and the better chance that Republicans might start to join them. It is that simple. There is no magic bullet. There's no shortcut in standing up for democracy. When you're standing up for democracy, you know what's in your toolkit? Oh, look, democracy. That's it. This is how it works. And the hardest part of it is to, the hardest part of it to build, the hardest part of it to get on your side is public opinion, right? But on this guy, we're only 1 month in, and public opinion is definitely already there on this guy in a way that no president has ever seen before. And that is really good for people who are opposed to him and people who are trying to construct a regime of opposition to him that includes all comers. Right? Public opinion is against him. That is irreplaceable and necessary and huge. And public opinion being against him, mark my words, is only going to get worse for him. Because, again, it's simple. Look at what he's doing. Just look at these headlines from the past 48 hours. Headline: Trump team plans deep cuts at office that funds recovery from big disasters. The Trump administration plans to all but eliminate the office that oversees America's recovery from the largest disasters, raising questions about how the United States will rebuild from hurricanes, wildfires, and other calamities. The administration plans to cut the staff of that office by 84%. Headline: Trump administration cancels federal contract for 9/11 research. Headline: Trump administration cuts 9/11 survivors fund. Republicans join Democrats in rebuke. Headline: long lines and canceled rentals. Firings bring chaos to national parks.
I guess Trump and Elon just don't care, or that they don't understand how the very localized attacks they've made on communities are going to backfire on them. But this claim that it is waste, fraud, and abuse to make sure kids have hot breakfast and lunch is insane. This idea that Social Security is waste, fraud, and abuse, that, grandma being in a nursing home is waste, fraud, and abuse, that these programs that are essential to keeping Americans healthy, happy, fed, alive, and housed are way FR and abuse. It's just absolute nonsense. Maybe take a look at Elon's contracts at the Pentagon if you want to talk waste, FR, and abuse. But that is exactly what Levitt was called out for multiple times in this press conference. And there's one really great clip that we're going to add on to the end to just make sure you hear it. You'll see it in this clip, but we're going to make sure you see it. So let's check out these two right here.
We're now hearing from constituents in some traditionally red districts right now complaining about what they say is the chainsaw approach and saying that it's been done very sloppily, the cuts to jobs and spending. How do you respond to that criticism?
I love how the media takes a few critics when the overwhelming response from the American people is support for what this administration is doing. If you look at the public polling, 70% of Americans, according to CBS, believe that President Trump is delivering on the promises he made. And there should be no secret about the fact that this administration is committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The president campaigned on that promise. Americans elected him on that promise, and he's actually delivering on it. And this is something that Democrats promised they would do for decades. President Trump is just the first president to get it done.
Let me ask you about the fraud, if I can. We can all have our own opinion about what is wasteful spending, and Republicans have praised the president for cutting wasteful spending, but fraud, of course, is a crime. So have you turned over evidence of fraud to the Justice Department, and when should we expect to see those indictments?
It's a clever question. First of all, I think all Americans would agree that funding mastectomies in Mozambique is not something that the American people should be funding, or DEI programs. I think it's fraudulent that the American government has been ripping off taxpayers in this way. And we also do know there has been extensive fraud, particularly if you look at Social Security. In fact, according to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud in one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud, Peter, that the government has admitted to. So this administration is committed to finding even more of that fraud, waste, and abuse.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year, and it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in 1 year, just to be clear.
In one report.
And it was in one report over multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money, far too much, and that's why this administration... Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it.
I just want to ask a question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you and the press who are clearly adamantly opposed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. But we know that American taxpayers at home who have been struggling with an inflationary crisis don't want their tax dollars going towards crazy DEI programs in countries overseas. They also don't like the fact that there has been $71 billion worth of fraud in Social Security and improper payments going out the door. That's a problem that needs to be fixed, and President Trump is going to fix it. That's your fifth question. Elena, do you have anything to add?
So, of course, you saw Ann Carolyn Levitt respond to the question about, oh, well, so if Elle actually finds fraud, can you show it to us? A straightforward question the Democratic members of Congress have been asking, because that was the original plan, by the way. Doge was going to find the fraud and then bring it to Congress because, Congress does the appropriations. Remember when we had, balances of power, and it was Congress that controlled the purse, not Donald Trump all the time. And her response is, that's very clever. What's clever to ask a legitimate question about why Elon won't talk about his fraud. And then she says, oh, the media loves to defend this. I mean, you're just lying, and she was clearly lying right there about the scope of what they're getting rid of. It's just like when Elon said that they slashed an $8 million contract or an $8 billion contract, and in fact, it was only an $8 million contract. These people are liars. They are illegitimate, and of course they're criminals, and they're corrupt. Talk about it like that. It is unpopular. We've already seen how unpopular these positions are, and it's reflecting just like that very quickly. And some polling I want to take a look at right here.
Is the people are mad. They are angry. They are rising up. Take a look here. Top worst things that Trump has done. This is among the folks who oppose Trump actions in office so far. You might have thought going into the election or afterwards it'd be immigration policy, but that comes in at just 10%. Check out on this side of the screen, though. I'm coming over to Mr. Berman's side. Musk, Doge, or the funding freezes, right? These funding cuts. Look at that. That takes the cake. 24%. That is the top answer amongst those who oppose Donald Trump's actions in office, saying it is the worst thing that he has done so far. It's Musk, it's Doge, it's those funding cuts. The people are mad, and if last night is an example, that town hall, they ain't going to take it anymore.
Okay, this is among those who oppose Trump's actions in office. Is there a difference, sort of, across party lines?
Yeah, okay, so let's zoom in on Elon Musk, right? We're going to zoom in on Elon Musk, Doge, and the access, of course, they have to the data. This is from our poll. The most significant Trump action this term so far. Look at this. Democrats are more angry about this than Republicans are happy about it. Look at this. Democrats, 18% say that the Musk, Doge, access to data is the most significant action so far for Trump this term. Bring it over to this side of the screen. Look at this. Just 9% of Republicans say that Musk, Doge, and the access to data is the most significant Trump action so far. So Elon Musk is becoming this rallying point for anger, this rallying point for anger on the left, and he's not really doing much for the right, who are going, yeah, we like what's going on, but it's not close to the most significant thing he's doing so far. For them, they're much more likely to say something like immigration.
You know, people who run elections always look for what they call an animating issue, an issue that gets voters excited or focused. For Democrats, maybe this is it. It's early days. We'll have to keep watching it. What has this done for Elon Musk?
Yeah, what has this done for Elon Musk? Is Elon Musk bringing his numbers up, or are they falling down? Take a look here. This gives you an idea of how angry the folks are at Elon Musk. Look at this. Elon Musk's net favorable rating. We've been tracking this. This is Quinnipiac University. Back in December of 2024, he was underwater, but just underwater by 5 points. Look at where he is now in February 2025. The American people are turning against Elon Musk. His net favorable rating way down there, past now minus 10 points, minus 12 points. The bottom line is this. The voters are angry with Elon Musk. They're angry with the cuts to the federal government. You saw it in the town hall last night, and they're taking it out against Elon Musk in the polls as well, where his numbers are falling, Mr. Berman.
We'll have to see how this affects Elon Musk when he's up for re-election.
That might be one of the reasons they're angry with him.
All right, Harriet, great to see you.
It should be no surprise to anyone that going after the most essential programs in America is going to result in a little bit of backlash, and especially when those programs are mostly in red states. People who thought that they were getting, you know what, 150 eggs and now they're $8.99 or like $10. And Donald Trump doesn't really seem to care because he's got the Gulf of America now, and that's what he's touting around. I love a meme that I saw. I should probably post it on the channel feed of someone going to the grocery store, and their eggs are $10, and they're like, actually, have you seen this? Like, those eggs are now 150 and they're showing the Gulf of America. It's like Donald Trump doesn't care. He wants to fight culture wars to distract you. But when you're going to the grocery store every day, not every day, but you know what I mean? It's difficult to be distracted from that. The prices, the sticker shock that you're interacting with every single day that Donald Trump insisted was the most important thing on the campaign trail. What's happened to that? What happened to that guy? Where did he go? I know his brain is deteriorating every day, but I'd love to check in with him, although I don't actually want to check in with Donald Trump. But no, we have to continue to talk about how localized these issues are, because that's exactly what they are. They're affecting real people in communities every single day. And someone who did a great job covering that, as we saw in the beginning of this video, and I want to check out a bit more of, was Rachel Maddow right here?
Federal funding that has been frozen by President Trump.
The commissioner says not having access to critical funds is causing economic hardship for Maine farmers.
Federal cuts hit the Bonneville Power Administration the hardest. They lost about 20% of their workforce.
Nonprofits in Michigan are trying to survive a stop work order issued by President Trump.
This is a team that services some of the most at-risk youth in the Bay Area.
It's a lot of young people who are particularly vulnerable, who have been abused, exploited.
Yesterday, they got a notice from the federal government to stop work on their contract to provide legal services to their young clients.
What could a mass federal layoff mean for local forecasting for all of us?
We've got cold weather advisories.
NBC5 Storm Team starts many mornings with thorough forecasts to help you plan your day. And most of the data they share comes from scientists and meteorologists here at the National Weather Service in suburban Romeoville. Concern is growing that job cuts could be coming and what that would mean for local forecasting.
The information depends upon having the people in place. This is not something happening in Washington. It's your neighbors.
It's your neighbors. That's what local news looks like. A little slice of it just today. I really think that they are trying to make it so the laws of politics no longer apply because we no longer have politics, right? So the public hating what they're doing will no longer matter because they don't intend to ever have to answer to the public ever again. I think that is ultimately what they are aiming at. But that's what they're aiming at. It doesn't mean we're there yet. And right now, in our time today, the unpopularity of what they're doing really does create real political pressure at the source to stop him, to at least slow him down.
This is exactly how we need to be making the case against what Donald Trump is doing. It is impacting real people, and you're next in every way, shape, form. He is taking a sledgehammer and a meat axe to the government in the most inept and incompetent ways. It is dangerous. It is dumb. I think we should just call him dumb, and it's going to affect you unless we stop him, and we got a great opportunity to do so in the midterms, but we also have a great opportunity to just work every single day and talk about it. Like we still have agency to push back in this thing. And it's what we're going to do every single day on the show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.